The time snuck up on me there. It's 111. I was almost going to start this at 11:11. That's how long I've been up. I mean, my sleeping is crazy. I mean, I laid down in the early evening and was in and out of sleep. I was awake, sleep, awake, asleep. Finally got up a little after 10 o'clock, and I've been up ever since. And I'll try to get a night's sleep after I do this video. And the title of the video today is In the Twinkling of an Eye Possible? It was written a long time ago that we shall be changed in the twinkling of an eye. In the context in 1 Corinthians, it's talking about the dead being raised. What about the living dead? As I see it, most people now living seem dead, unconscious, brainwashed, and virtually unaware of any bigger picture of the interconnectedness of all life. In the Wingmakers material, look it up, as I recall, it talked about a sudden awareness of the reality of the soul, which in this moment I interpret to mean the bigger picture. Is there a cosmic event that might actually trigger such an awakening? If I could help create such an event, I would do it without hesitation. God knows how sick I am of this world being in such turmoil and insanity, and how much I love the real humanity that has been so distorted and blinded. I'd like to think instant awakening is possible, because without it, I simply do not see how we can accomplish the humongous task of creating a world that works for everyone. For the past several days, actually, Mr. Sugi and people in Indonesia that have this vision to help liberate the world has been heavily on my mind in my prayers. I even, the other day, as part of a group effort, lit a candle for an extended period of time, burning the candle to light the world and to light the torch of freedom, to liberate humanity from the insanity of the psychopathic vision that our so-called world leaders have been trying to take us for a long time. Now, they're not going to be able to get there, and I'm convinced that sooner or later, they're the Ouroboros, as I said in the previous video, the serpent will eat its tail. It will be a self-consuming thing. The negativity will consume itself and be transformed. But the transformation is what I was focusing on after I did my last video, and the thought has been reoccurring throughout the day since I did my video at 11:11 a.m. This past day. This is 1:11 in the morning now, so it's a new day. But for me, it's just an extension of the same day, because my days and nights don't mean anything anymore. I mean, as I said, my sleep pattern is crazy. But the concept of in the twinkling of an eye has kept reoccurring in my thoughts throughout the day. And I'm wondering, what will it take? What will it take to release the blockages to our awareness and help us to get at least somewhat on the same page, so that we can at least be seeing that we are all interconnected, and we can't do something anywhere in the world that doesn't affect everyone. There's no such thing as separation. It's a lie. But it's a lie that has been an absolutely convincing illusion. We've absolutely become masterful creators at convincing ourselves that the lie is real, that we can actually be separate from the rest of life. Like, I'm me and I'm an island. I'm an island disconnected from everything. What about the water? Huh? Even islands are connected by the water. And even planets are connected by the ethers. And darkness holds everything. Not light. Darkness holds everything together. Did you ever think of that? I didn't either. Well, I guess I have, but I wasn't thinking about it until I just said it again. I wasn't thinking about it in this moment until it came to me. Darkness holds everything together. What is darkness? It's the feminine. It's the womb of creation. Interesting. Can our darkness become enlightened? Can our unconsciousness, the sea of unconsciousness, become an awakened consciousness that allows us to cooperate with each other and allows us to listen to each other, that allows us to actually have compassion, to actually feel the love that we each are? Is there such a twinkling of an eye event that can wash away the tears from our eyes and cleanse all the wounds and bind up and heal all the wounds that we've suffered on this journey through time and space and physicality? There's nothing wrong with physicality. There's nothing wrong with time and space. But we've sure made a mess of our human experience. We've experienced the worst of the worst. I wonder how long it's going to take us to be able to experience the best of the best. Because everything ultimately has to come into balance, doesn't it? I'd like to believe that that's true. I'd like to think it makes sense, that it's pragmatic, that it's not just wishful thinking. I'd like to think that it's possible for humans that seem dead, that seem apathetic and unconcerned and disconnected, to all of a sudden awaken and realize the beauty that we're capable of creating together, the wonder that we're able to manufacture for ourselves, to experience a new experience, to experience the good side of life more than the bad side of life. Now, some of you may think you're already experiencing the good side of life, but you can't be experiencing the good side of life when so many of your brothers and sisters are starving and dying and being beaten and wounded, being stripped of everything that's meaningful to them. How can you be living the good life when there are so many that are suffering as much as they are? You say, well, that doesn't concern me. Then you don't see the bigger picture, do you? You don't see that you're connected to those too, because you've denied that aspect of yourself. So you can't see that aspect anywhere else, because you've blinded your own eyes on purpose, by choice, to not see. And some of you have done that. Others have not done it consciously. It's been done for them in the brainwashing of the system in the matrix. I call on God, Creator, First Source, whatever you want to call the beginning of the beginning, the mind in which all minds operate, the soul in which all souls exist, the Great One that is the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. I call on that one to please, please help us. Please help me. I want all the aspects of my soul to come together. Now, Mr. Siggy Sino says that I was the first Adam, or actually that was from Mr. Pre, but he said it came from Mr. Siggy. And I was supposed to be this one and that one. And I'm just thinking about that earlier. In a sense, every single one of us was the first Adam or the first Eve or both. Every single one of us. Because if there was a first man, and I really believe that Adam and Eve were probably creations within the creation. I don't think they were the first, really, but they were implanted by the gods or by the good God to put a seed in humanity to bring forth the transformation necessary from the slave planet that had been created by the darker forces from the Pleiades and from other star systems. However it worked, I don't believe we have all the answers, but I certainly don't believe it's the way I understood it when I was a boy, what I was taught in the Bible. There's a whole lot more to the story than that. But in any case, we all have that seed in us. So we can each say, I was the first Adam. I was the first Eve. I was a part of that. The first and the last is in each of us. The Alpha and the Omega is each of us. We are each gods and goddesses. We are each the prophet and the prophetess. We are each the priest and the priestess. We are each the Christ and the Buddha and the, what was her name? The Oriental great one. I forgot. That's absolutely terrible. That even in my own consciousness, I forget the feminine sometimes. And the feminine is what's going to allow us to birth this new world. It's the union of the masculine and feminine for sure. But without the feminine, we're not going to make it. We're not going to be able to have that twinkling of the eye experience of birthing a new world, a new heaven and a new earth, a new humanity. Transformation is possible. It actually happens all the time in nature itself. Every time there's a fire, there's a transformation of what is manifest. Every time two chemicals come together in the right conditions, there is a transformation that takes place. It's alchemy. There's alchemical reactions all the time, every day, as part of nature. And the new life is being born all the time, every day, as part of the natural world. But man seems stuck in his perversions and in his corruptions, in the distortion of his reality. How can we remove the blinders? How can we take the shades off so that we can start seeing more clearly? So that we can recognize what we need to do together to make the world that works for everybody. We have the capability. I'm not the only one with the vision. Let's do it, folks. Let's call for this twinkling of an eye thing to be transformed. Let's call for the transformation, the trumpet to sound, whatever it takes, so that together we can experience heaven on earth. We can experience peace that passes understanding. We can wipe the tears from each other's eyes. And we can hold each other and hear each other and see each other more clearly than we've ever been able to see before. That's my vision, just part of it anyway. Because I love you and me and all of us. And I'm tired. I'm so tired of the old ways, of the old paradigm, of the insanity of egocentric separation. I want to experience the unity in myself and with all of my brothers and sisters and all of creation. I want to experience what's written in my heart and has been written in my heart since I was a boy. Is the twinkling of an eye. Is that kind of transformation possible? That rapturous event, not that takes us out of here, but that transforms us in the old world, thereby creating the new world. These are things that have been on my mind today and in my heart for a long time. Thank you for listening. Namaste.